Alright, in this lecture, we're going to be going over composition. So what is composition? Well, composition just comes down to basically where you place your objects in your image, as well as what kind of contrast and values your image has, and that all creates your composition. So I like to break down composition into 5 basic rules for composition. Now, you don't always have to follow these rules. In fact, I highly encourage that you break them sometimes just so you can experiment. Now, a lot of people will tell you that these rules cannot be broken if you want to create good artwork, but if you talk to any really good artist, almost all of them will tell you that you can break these rules whenever you feel like it. But they're really good to understand and use as a guide for creating your compositions in your art. So the first one is central composition. So central composition is just when it says that there is an object in the center of your image, and that's going to be your focal point. And just by putting it in the center, that makes it your focal point. So for example, let's say that we draw a building right here in the middle of our image, okay? So there's our building. Now, a lot of the time in central compositions, you're going to have your vanishing point in one-point perspective right in the center along with your object. So if we put our vanishing point right there, we'll have vanishing lines coming off like so, or perspective lines. And then what we could do is we could go ahead and align these perspective lines with trees. So let's say we have a tree right here. And then as it comes down to the next area of the vanishing line, we're going to go ahead and add another tree in, but this tree will be a little bit taller because of perspective. And we'll just continue to do that all the way down. We'll do the same thing on the other side. And then we'll add one more tree right here. But even though, once we erase away these vanishing lines, they're still going to be there subconsciously. You're going to know that there are vanishing lines going off to this vanishing point, and all of that points to the center. Plus our object is in the center. Plus we can also darken our object so that it's more of the focal point because it'll stand out more because there's more contrast between our object and our background now. But that is central composition. The next one is called the rule of thirds. So the rule of thirds says that if you break up your image into thirds, you can use this as a guide to create a good composition. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw 2 lines like so and make sure that the distance between each line and the edges of my page are about 1/3 apart. And so now I know that anything that I put on these lines are probably going to be a good bet for where I want to position an object in my drawing. Then you can also go ahead and break the horizontal lines of your page up into thirds also, like so. Now generally this top line or this bottom line are the best place to put your horizon line. So most of the time people put their horizon line down here at the bottom. So let's say that we make this bottom area our horizon line. And then let's say that we want to add in an object. So let's say we want to add in a person. Well, we probably want to put our person right here on this line because this is the rule of thirds, is saying that you want to put things on these lines.